Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 13. This is the SGPN Fantasy Football Lounge. I'm Adam Pelletier. Joining me, as always, Dave Heelman and Andrew Robb. Andrew, how you doing this morning, my friend?
You're on mute, sir.
I am. Thank God for that. Yeah, no, I said coffee's flowing, blood is pumping, and football is quickly approaching on the day. Let's go.
There we go. Dave, how you doing this morning?
Doing well, man. Trying to set lineups, trying to update the rankings. There's a lot of backup quarterbacks, bad weather, and all the fun stuff for week 13.
In a week where, we're getting down to it. Do you guys have any leagues that end this week for the regular season?
No. FFPC. Yeah.
FFPC.
But, yep.
I've got one that ends this week because it's a 14-team league, and we didn't want an unbalanced schedule. So we end in week 13 and then 6 teams to the playoffs. And I am fighting for my life in that one. How many teams is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams are 6-6 competing for the remaining 4 playoff spots. And I sat down to try to analyze like all the different ones. But the thing that throws it off is the 6th seed has to have the most points out of the non-top 5 playoff teams. So it just makes it a mess because it's all just about points this week. So everybody's in it this week, and there's 6-7 teams that can make it for 4 spots, and it's going to be crazy. So, and you know what? I just get to worry about my fantasy football team this week because the Buffalo Bills can't break my heart. They're doing a great job, new and innovative ways every week on how they're going to just rip my soul out. It's a great time.
Adam, so I got a Bills question for you, and this is not non-fantasy, so I won't make it long. Survivor League. I'm trying to figure out who to play this week. I was going to play the Bucks. I chose not to. Now I'm probably going to take the Jags, which messes up week 17 for me because that's where I have the Jags slotted in. With that said, I have not used the Bills yet, and they play the Patriots at home. Is that a good spot to take the Bills at home versus the Patriots week 17?
I think so, because that game is going to matter. At the start of the year, I would have said, no, there's no way the Bills game week 17 matters. No, that game matters a whole heck of a lot right now. So, and that's just, I got some leagues where I got some Josh Allen, so I'm feeling good about my life because now I get Josh Allen through the end of the year. Whereas before I thought, maybe he'll back it off week 16, 17. So it's a good life. It's a good thing. Dave, you got any leagues that you're watching tight this week that you're really sweating?
Just a few where I'm trying to get that first round bye, and it's tough. Dynasty leagues are a little different. One thing that's a struggle in dynasty leagues is you get to the end of the season and you look over, and Andrew and I are fighting for that 2 spot, and he's got he's playing against a team that's tanking, and they have the week 18 lineup in already, and that can be a little frustrating.
No.
Hey man, I'm starting Tim Boyle. All right, I've been winning with either Tim Boyle or no QB, so I've been lucky to be here. That is for sure.
I just want to be very clear. In one of those leagues, I traded Andrew like a first round pick, thinking I was going to have a great team with Daniel Jones and Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones proceeded to shit the bed. And Andrew's sitting at 5-7, and I'm 4-8. And his quarterback to start the year was Tom Brady. So he has my first round pick, and he's doing better than me. This was a year from hell in that league.
Joe Burrow was my first Scott Fishbowl pick, and I'm starting Joe Flacco today.
Why? I'm a little baffled as to why Joe Flacco is starting this week, given that PJ Walker
PTR got concussed.
Is PJ Walker hurt? Because PJ Walker isn't that bad. He's got to be better than Joe Flacco, right?
Is PJ Walker on the team?
He was. Did they cut him?
Yeah. No, he's
still there.
Okay. I believe he's still there. I will say this: Joe Flacco on the Jets, as much as it wasn't good football, it was decent for fantasy football. Elijah Moore could be interesting today. They have a little bit of rapport, but he peppers the tight end, peppers the running back. Remember Justin Forsett, a little blast from the past. Michael Carter. I mean, these guys were getting double-digit targets. He is a check down machine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy week. It's getting crazier by the day. So let's get started. We got our first one of the day. Need some help getting a much needed W. Gibbs, Javonte Williams, a chain. Bench one. Already have Kamara in. What are y'all thinking, gentlemen? How are we feeling? What are we doing?
Easy for me. I'm benching Achane.
Yeah, I'm benching Achane unless I am needing a home run. Then I would bench Javonte Williams. But I have Gibbs and Williams ahead of Achane in my rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those. Achane, we don't know how he's going to look coming back from injury, and Gibbs has looked really good after a slow start. We were all sweating that slow start, and if it's PPR, Kamara is an absolute beast. That was a cheat code there because you got him in like the 5th round in PPR leagues. Javonte Williams, are you worried at all about Samaje Perine and his emerging role in that offense?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It doesn't help Javonte, that's for sure. But I mean, Javante's still the guy. And now the Broncos with this resurgence, I feel like that really helps his case. To get more work, especially around the goal line. So yeah, I mean, I do worry about a little bit between the 20s, not so much around the goal line, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it does not help him.
Dave, how you feeling about Samaje Perine?
Yeah, I mean, you have to worry about it a little bit with Javonte Williams. It's been closer to a 50-50 split. We've seen this in the past with Sean Payton. And in all honesty, like we were, I wouldn't say hyping up, but we were talking a lot this offseason about Samaje Perine and how involved he would be. He's a great pass protector, which puts him on the field and on third downs. And when you're getting that 2-minute offense or that comeback mode kind of position, it's pretty valuable in fantasy.
Yeah. So next, Superflex, starting Flacco or Zappi over Singletary, Javonte, or Najee Harris. Oh, that's a tough one.
A lot of Javonte right off the bat, and that's the tough part. I do have Javonte ahead, but I think Najee Harris is like, we saw how bad that Cardinals defense is. If he doesn't score one, he might score 2 touchdowns this week. I am not playing Zappi. I could see him getting pulled for Malik Cunningham's halfway through the game or something. It's bad weather. Zappi's out. I'm gonna go Javonte.
Andrew, who are you picking out of this group?
Yeah, it's definitely not Flacco or Zappi for me. I'll just not start a quarterback there. Let me check my rankings. I'm pretty sure I know who I have higher ranked, but who I want to play more. Okay, so yeah, so I have Javonte ranked the highest out of Singletary, Javonte, and Najee. Something is telling me to start Najee. It's such a good matchup for them. He ran well last week. I think he's going to get goal line work here over Jaylen Warren as well. So I'm going to go on the limb here and take Najee. But I think I'll start any of these running backs over Flacco and Zappi, though.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle to start Joe Flacco, who just got to the team, and yeah, that's not happening. Bailey Zappi, same thing. They elevated Malik Cunningham to the active roster. Devin Singletary, after some just amazing weeks, saw his workload got eaten into by Dameon Pierce. I'm going to co-sign the Najee one just because he has the most likelihood of falling into the end zone, getting that touchdown. And you're kind of screwed on that one. I hope you just have guys on bye and you get some help next week as guys get healthy. All right, pick one. Full PPR with bonuses for 100 yards receiving and long TDs. Cup, Godwin, Downs. Whew. Bonus points, making it fun, making it exciting, making it interesting.
Damn. That does make it interesting. It's not Godwin for me. I know he's expected to play. I'm not sure that they're going to give him a ton of work. Cup or Downs for me. The bonus makes me want to take Downs because I don't think Cup has a bunch of long TDs in him, especially with his, kind of lingering injury right here. So it makes me want to take Downs, but oh man, damn, that's so hard. I mean, how do you sit Cup and play Downs?
You look at the last few weeks for Cup. I'm gonna go Downs. I was
It's so
really,
hard.
really high on Cup last week. Someone asked me, questioned, are you really that high on Cup? I'm like, yes. I stood my ground and completely got burned. I did tell him I would still start Dell over Cup last week. Thank goodness. But he has been atrocious. He's wide receiver 68 right now. And the last 3 weeks, I think his highest was wide receiver 49.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going Godwin here, actually. I think Godwin has the clearest path and most reliable production out of all three of these guys. He's consistently getting work, he's consistently getting targeted, and he's getting open down the field. I find it hard to go back to Josh Downs. I mean, Josh Downs has been playing well, but Chris Godwin, each of the last how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks has had a minimum of 6 targets.
Downs had 13 targets last week. I'm going with Josh Downs. I think he's got the big playability if you're looking at these long touchdowns. I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, it's probably Downs for me as well, though it would be potentially Cup in my eyes, but I'll take Downs with the bonuses. I have bet under 44 and 43.5 on Godwin receiving yards.
Yeah, I mean, so no help for anybody here, but we gave you some good processes. I mean,
sorry.
Downs did have 13 targets, but he only had 5 catches last week. In the week before that, 3 targets the week before that, 1 target. He's been up and down a bunch with his involvement. So it's a do you catch him on a pop week? And he really hasn't strung together 2 back-to-back weeks. I mean, he did in week against Cleveland and against New Orleans, but been down since then. Hasn't broken 50 yards since the game against New Orleans. All right, next, Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, or Amari Cooper. 3rd point PPR, start 1. So that's Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, or Amari Cooper.
Yes,
I'll take
Thielen
Kirk
against Tampa. Christian Kirk taken and the Jags on the Monday night game against the Bengals, and Amari Cooper taking on the LA Rams at 4:30 today. So all late game starts at least.
Yeah.
Kirk for me. Though Thielen is in consideration after an awful week last week, the Bucks can definitely be burned in their secondary. So I do expect Thielen to have a better week, but I'll take Kirk because I think Kirk has more boom in him than Thielen does at this point.
Yeah, I love the matchup for Thielen. I'm going to go Kirk, but I love them both. Both starting tight ends are out for Carolina, so you could expect even more work for Thielen. But he's just such a target hog in that offense. It's hard to sit both, but Cooper's the easy out. He's on the road, so he's going to suck. I'm going to go Kirk, then Thielen, then Cooper.
Yeah, give me a little bit of the narrative bounce back here with Adam Thielen. Interim head coach, they're going to be looking to show they're playing for their jobs. The coaches are coaching for their jobs. They're going to get their best weapons involved. So I think that means we're going to see a lot of Adam Thielen this week. And that 0.3 PPR, not quite half, but still going to get good volume there out of him. That should give him a nice floor because before last week, he'd had 2 straight weeks of 10 targets, and he's been 10-plus targets 6 times on the season. All right, Curtis Samuel or Breece Hall, 0.5 PPR. If you asked me this at the start of the season, I would have thought you were absolutely insane. Breece Hall and the Jets playing at 1 o'clock against the Atlanta Falcons, and Curtis Samuel and Andrews Commanders playing the Miami Dolphins also in the 1 o'clock window. What are we thinking, gentlemen? How are we feeling about this half-point PPR?
I'll take Breece Hall. This game's just going to be run, and then run some more. So I expect him to have a decent workload. Curtis Samuel was very interesting, though. Very, very interesting play, especially for DFS purposes. But Curtis Samuel, the thing I think that I can't get over is that EB just spreads the ball around so much in this offense. It doesn't mean Curtis Samuel will have a good or bad game. Sometimes he'll get 7 targets, sometimes he'll get 2. I don't want to put him in the lineup in a game where it's going to be way out of control and maybe you only get 2 or 3 targets. I mean, it's hard to say with him. So I will just take Breece Hall knowing that they're going to run the absolute piss out of the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Breece Hall, despite when you first look at Breece Hall, you're really worried because you see the low rushing numbers. He's had 50 yards once since week 5, and that was in a loss to the Chargers. But then you got to look a little bit deeper in the box score with him. He's been right around 15 to 20 touches every week, getting up close to 90 yards. He has been in a little bit of a downturn these past 4 weeks, so I think this is a good bounce back spot for him against a Falcons defense that can be beat with speed. So he also has had a couple touchdowns in the receiving game to go, despite not finding the end zone on the ground. But the passing game with Breece Hall is really just it's a long, slower developing run play for him. So Breece Hall is definitely it, especially because Curtis Samuel has 1 game this season where he's gone over 10 targets. He's never touched the ball double-digit times in any single game. Go with the guy who's going to get the high volume. Go with the guy who's going to get the high production and has that high floor. And like Andrew said, we think they're just going to run the absolute piss out of the ball this game. Because do you want Tim Boyle throwing the ball?
No, and it's bad weather. Put it up there earlier. The New England game, bad weather. The Atlanta Jets game, bad weather. Rainy, windy, and cold. And then you have the Green Bay's potential snow.
Yeah. So next, need to start 2. Breece Hall, Evan Ingram, Pat Fryermuth, Greg Dortch, Sam Laporta, and Trey McBride. Start.
My God.
2.
How many tight ends this person has? Jesus.
I mean,
holy shit.
It's one of those things where if you don't have a tight end, if you have too many tight ends, you don't have a tight end. But also,
goodness.
I don't know why Greg Dortch is still on their roster. I'm going to be honest, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, you go package some of these tight ends and trade. It makes some trades because you probably don't have a quarterback or receivers if this is your squad. But I mean, some of these guys did have lower, ADP. I'm going to go Breece Hall on this one and Sam Laporta. It's close with McBride versus Hall. I do like him, but he is coming in a little banged up. So I'm going to take Laporta and Hall.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Hall and, man, it's going to be Hall and McBride for me. I know he's, you're right. He's come back from, he's a little banged up, but I think that he's just going to get a boatload of targets. So yeah, it'll be Hall and McBride for me.
That it's Hall and Laporta. I mean, you can't at this point. I don't feel comfortable ever sitting Sam Laporta. I need Sam Laporta in my lineup every week, just because he's been so involved, so heavily involved throughout this entire season. And love Breece Hall. I don't ever want to start a tight end over a running back unless that tight end is Sam Laporta or Travis Kelce, and maybe Dalton Kincaid a little bit there, depending on the running back. All right, next, Derrick Henry or Brevin Jordan?
It's Hunter Henry or Brevin.
Oh, it's Hunter Henry or Brevin Jordan. I was about to say.
Can you visit the waiver wire and pick somebody else up? Is Cade Otton out there by any chance?
I'm assuming that's where they found Brevin Jordan.
Yeah. Yikes.
Is Dalton Schultz playing?
Dalton Schultz is out.
Dalton Schultz is out.
I will take Henry. Don't love either one of these guys. Would rather see if you can get Juwan Johnson, Cade Otton, Logan Thomas, any of those guys possibly. But I'll take Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think it's Hunter Henry just because one of these guys has a proven track record. But, if you're feeling frisky, Brevin Jordan tanked out, banged up. We'll see when Derek comes on and hear whether he's going to be playing or not. And also just thinking about, no Dalton Schultz. Brevin Jordan might be able to get more work than Hunter Henry. It's just both of these, as Andrew said, are a mess. But I know tight end is a mess right now because there are a bunch of guys on rosters, and there hasn't been those guys jumping in and out of the top group.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hunter Henry's the safe play. I'm going to take Brevin Jordan. He's got a much better situation. I like the matchup. He gets the 32nd best matchup against the 32nd best defense against fantasy tight ends, the number one matchup, and he gets a good quarterback on a good offense. And Hunter Henry's on a really bad offense with we could see a change at quarterback halfway through the game, and it's going to be rainy and crappy out. So I'm going to take Jordan in a much higher scoring game.
All right, Devin McCoy joining us from the YouTube. Devin, thanks for joining us. Non-PPR start one, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Andrew, how are we feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm looking at my rankings here real quick. I think I have Puka the highest out of all of them. Yes, I do. I will take Puka over Kupp and Wilson. Yeah, I still feel good about that. I'm just re-looking at my rankings here. Yeah, I'll take Puka. I mean, Kupp, obviously with the injury, I think it's lingering a little bit. He's kind of a decoy out there. Wilson, I mean, Tim Boyle, the matchup, run. So I'll take Puka.
Yeah, I'm going Puka as well. I don't like any of these guys this week, but he's healthy versus Kupp, and he does have a more competent quarterback. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the bad weather, I'd be much more in on Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson has had double-digit targets in 5 of his last 6 weeks, been heavily involved, getting the yardage. Even with Tim Boyle, he's still been productive. It's just that challenge of saying, do you really want to play Garrett Wilson with Tim Boyle throwing him the ball in a miserable weather game? And I think the answer is no. I don't want any part of that. Puka Nacua, like you guys talked about, might not be getting the target numbers, but he has a better quarterback throwing him the ball. So his catch percentage has been trending in the right direction. He has, since his hot start, he has cooled off a little bit. The last 4 weeks, he's been down a little bit, only high of 8 targets, only broken a 50% catch percentage once, but the yardage has been there. The consistency has been there, and he's playing in better weather. He's playing indoor in the domes against Cleveland, who, although a tough team, can give up yardage through the air. So give me Nacua.
Yeah, and all 3 cornerback matches are tough. You got Greg Newsome against Puka or Cooper Kupp with Denzel Ward on the outside, and then you got AJ Terrell. Who's out?
I think Denzel Ward is out.
Okay. But yeah, they still have Greg Newsome and then the other corner on the other side.
Yeah, 2 days ago, Ward has been ruled out of Sunday's game against the Rams. So no Denzel Ward.
Good.
All right, next up, T. Higgins, George Pickens, or Breece Hall?
Probably Hall.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, George Pickens and T. Higgins, if they were healthy and not pissed off and hating their lives, you might talk me into it this week, but I think Breece Hall, the game script is going to favor him. T. Higgins with Jake Browning throwing him the ball might step up, but also just coming back off injury. And how pressed are the Bengals right now to win a lot of games? T. Higgins, though, is looking for that second half of the year contract, because he is a free agent. He's trying to get paid, but I can't go away from Breece Hall in that game with the game script this week. Jaylen Warren or Garrett Wilson, PPR. Now this, we got some tricky ones here. It's very clear that bye weeks are hitting some folks and that it's late in the season.
Well, the NFL does us a big favor about no buys last week and then 6 buys this week. And we have 52 different starting quarterbacks. So some teams are on to their third. It's just ugly. I'm going Jaylen Warren. Arizona Cardinals, Kyron Williams had enough points last week that you could distribute that to Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. They both would be running back ones this week. And I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to run the ball all over the Arizona Cardinals. Warren and Najee Harris going to have a good day.
Agreed. Jalen Warren.
Yeah, we're going to make that 3 for 3. Again, we talked about that bad weather in New York, and Jalen Warren, even on a slightly down week last week, still got 16 touches. He's getting the touches. He's getting the volume. It's pretty much a straight 50-50 split between him and Najee Harris. So you really got to like Jalen Warren coming out this week. Daquan the Great, here we are. Need help with my flex, PPR, full point, Drake London, Jerome Ford, Devin Singletary.
Jerome Ford.
Yeah, I got Jerome Ford. I think they do lean on the running game with Flacco at quarterback, but I said earlier, he is, no matter who is the running back next to him, he's been a check down machine. I could see Ford getting 6 to 10 targets today.
Yeah, I mean, I keep with the weather, I'm a little less excited about Drake London. Drake London did have a good week last week, 5 catches for 91 yards. He's been pretty consistent, 50 yards or better in more than half of his games, which I know isn't great, but it's PPR. They're keeping him involved. They're working to keep him involved despite an iffy quarterback situation. But Devin Singletary is very clearly the odd man out here. With Dameon Pierce back, Devin Singletary has seen his workload just get slashed. When he was the guy, he did well. When he's in a timeshare, he struggles. And again, Jerome Ford is the guy in Cleveland, and you like him for that high check down load that he's gotten in the past. All right, Jalen Hurts or CJ Stroud?
I got Jalen Hurts.
It is close for me. Okay, yeah, it's close for me too. I got Hurts as well, though.
Yeah, I just think the fact that when they get to the 1 yard line, you just have a cheat code, free 6 touchdowns, free 6 points on the rushing touchdown for Philly, which seems to happen in increasing amount. I don't know if the Eagles playbook calls for all their skill position players to fall down at the 1 yard line or what. But CJ Stroud, though, did have a big week. God, I'm going to talk myself into this. I might go CJ Stroud if I had that option. Denver has had some bad weeks defensively. Denver famously gave up 70 points to Miami, and this Texans team can put up points in bunches. Yeah, give me flip a coin. I think it's Hurts, but you could play Stroud and I wouldn't hate it, but I'm going to stay. I'd stay with Hurts. I mean, Pickett Prod says he was playing Stroud and he's going to change it to Hurts. I think that's the right move.
He says, I'm playing Stroud.
I'm playing Stroud.
Hey, you know what?
For me, and quarterbacks run the ball more in these highly competitive games. You see them run the ball a lot more in playoffs, tight situations. But it's the rushing upside. It would be good to know if it's 4-point passing or 6-point passing touchdowns. But I have both these guys as starts. I have CJ Stroud, I believe, is QB5, and I have Jalen Hurts QB2. So I really, really like Hurts this week. I know San Francisco's tough matchup, but the secondary, those corners can't match up with those receivers. But you also just have the rushing upside is just huge. I'm going with Hurts.
God. Yeah, that's
hurts for me too.
I think so. I looked at CJ Stroud's last 4 weeks, and that just made me even.
Look at Hurts' last 4 weeks.
I know. I can look back and forth at both of them. Can we trade one of them? Can you trade one of them and get the player you trade for active before the 1 o'clock games start?
Yeah, you can't miss them, those. I don't think either of those. I think they're both going to end up top 5.
All right. Kyron Williams or Jahmyr Gibbs. How are we feeling about this one, boys?
I have Kyron. New Orleans is tough against the run. I know Gibbs is more of an outside threat and receiving threat, but New Orleans is tough against the run. Your games usually go under because the pace of play on the other side of the ball. So I'm going with Kyron.
Yep, I agree there, Kyron. Just think he, more opportunities than Gibbs. I like Gibbs as well as a play this week, but Kyron's just going to touch the ball more, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of Kyron's last 4 weeks, he went for 100+ yards. Last week, his first week coming back off injury, 16 for 143, 20 touches. Yeah, you got to go Kyron, and maybe you can see. This sounds like it's a smaller league, so you probably can't. There's probably plenty of talent on your roster that you can't find a spot for both. All right, a bunch of Pierce, Daquan the Great. Pierce sucks. I don't know why Devin doesn't get the bigger role, but thanks, guys. I mean, that's not a bad point. All right. Andrew, what's a game you're really watching this weekend that you really are tuning into other than the Eagles 49ers? Take that one out.
Again, man, this Houston team is just so electric. So the Houston-Denver game, man, there's just so many opportunities for fantasy points to be scored here. Really want to see how CJ Stroud does against this Denver defense. Also, in a very easy opportunity matchup here for Russell Wilson, can he get to like the 3 passing touchdowns? Like, I want to see what Russ can do in a very plus matchup. So this one is extremely intriguing to me. Another one that is intriguing just for one side of it is the New England and Chargers game. Chargers should be able to kill New England. Let's see if they can actually put it together. This will make people feel more confident in their Chargers going into the fantasy playoffs. If in a very plus matchup, I expect them to do what they got to do here and get this to be pulled through. So we'll see. But those two, I think, are ones I'm really looking forward to.
Dave, how about you?
Indianapolis, I like that passing attack this week. I know Tennessee, you look at some of the stats about their defense. Kevin Byard was a big part of that defense. He handled all the communication and everything, and they've not only been really bad on the offensive side, but the defense has fallen apart too. So I think Indianapolis, Zach Moss is a stud, must start. I'm starting. Minshew's kind of a streamer. I'm not really starting him in 1 quarterback leagues, but super flex leagues, he's an option. And then I really, really like the pass catchers there, Pittman and Downs.
Nice. All right. We got a good one here. Jalen Reed, Terry McLaurin, or AJ Dillon. How are we feeling about this one?
Is Jaden Reed playing? Does anybody know that for sure yet?
It's not official yet.
Okay.
I mean,
it's playing. It's McLaurin for me, no matter what. I just wanted to bring that up for people who may not know. Reed is questionable currently, so it is McLaurin for me, though. Should see 8 to 10 targets in a game that they're going to get absolutely blown out of. And I do think McLaurin can have some red zone targets here as well.
Hey, Daquan, Tank Dell's active. So Noah Brown, Tank Dell, Chris Olave, Cam Jordan, Keenan Allen, Traylon Burks, Trey McBride, Marquise Brown, Breece Hall, all active. Inactives, Michael Wilson, Malik Willis, and Randall Cobb.
So, Dave, who you doing here? Jaden Reed, Terry McLaurin, or AJ McLaurin?
I'm doing Terry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you said doing like that that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, is what it is. Then Daquan asked the Tank Dell. Tank Dell's active, so I would roll with Tank Dell.
Tank
100%.
Dell, that slot position is great in that offense and great for him. And then Drake London gets the sauce treatment today in bad weather. So,
yeah. Would you start Hollywood versus Pittsburgh or Jerry Jeudy versus Houston 1-point PPR?
Jeudy.
I'm gonna go Hollywood. Jeudy, he's been like meh, but like, what's his high this year? Like 12 points.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy hasn't been what he's been capable of. I think he's very limited right now by that Denver offense. He has he has not crossed the 100-yard mark at all this season.
Hollywood's going to see the reason I don't like Hollywood is he's going to see all the good coverage that Pittsburgh can throw at him. Like even if he gets 12 targets, like is he going to catch 6 of them? Like I'm just not sure that's going to be a plausible outcome for him.
I mean, but that's a 6-point floor right there in PPR. So it's full point PPR. So Hollywood, has been a little hit or miss coming back, but I just think that his potential for volume is much better than Jerry Judy's right now. I mean, Jerry Judy, hashtag free Jerry Judy. You know, somebody's going to he's going to leave in the offseason, and somebody's going to get an absolute steal when they bring him in. All right. Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, or Josh Downs?
Damn. I can't believe that this is even a question. We're at that point in the year. Oh, Jesus.
It's that. I mean, this is Dave's boy, Jake Browning, being the starting quarterback question.
Damn. I
mean, Chase.
I don't think you can bench Jamar Chase. I really don't. I can't see going away from Jamar Chase as much as I like Rashee Rice and Josh Downs. I think you got to stick with Jamar Chase right now until if Rashee Rice puts up another 100-yard week, then next week, yes, go away from Jamar Chase for Rashee Rice. But I don't think you can do it yet. It's not time yet.
Damn it, man. My gut really tells me not to start Chase. I guess Chase.
How'd Chase do last week?
Jamar Chase was 4 for 81 4 catches, 81 yards last week.
Yeah. I guess Chase, but honestly, my gut tells me to start Rashee Rice. But I know it's hard to sit Chase. Start your studs, right? And you know that you put on a shirt. Start your studs. I get it.
Until and it's right until all of a sudden it isn't right. That's the problem. Yeah. It's right until all of a sudden it isn't.
Yeah, we're talking the same thing about Garrett Wilson. I mean, Chase is much closer to those guys than I ever thought he would be. But yeah, I mean, all those guys are within 8 spots of my rankings.
Yeah. All right. We got one here. He's in a tough spot. He's chasing his opponent because of Dak and Brandon Aubrey. Do you slot in ETN Monday night and then have no pivot, or do you play Isaiah Pacheco?
Yeah, I'm okay with Pacheco. Jerick McKinnon is out again. We talked about it being possible like a snow game, so there could be some additional rushing. So Pacheco's been fine. I do have ETN higher than Pacheco, but of course, if you have no backup option and it's a Monday night, I'm gonna go Pacheco.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew, I think
no, I'm sorry. I was talking to my son. He was yelling down. Man, I'll probably play Pacheco.
Yeah, I think we've seen it when Jerick McKinnon is out, how dominant Isaiah Pacheco can be. I would love that Dearness Johnson spot. If you have Travis Etienne, Dearness Johnson is a must add because, spoiler alert, Tank Bigsby is not very good at professional football, as we figured out. I said in the preseason, I said Dearness Johnson is going to be the backup there. So Isaiah Pacheco with a lion's share of the work in what could be a snow game is just a great opportunity for him. He's a hard, physical, violent runner. He's not a dancer, so he's going to play very well in the snow. All right. Next up, Slick Rick asking Puka or Deontay Johnson. How are we feeling about this one, gentlemen?
Great YouTube name. I'm going Puka.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Puka too. But I do think Deontay can have a decent day as well. But yeah, I'll go Puka there.
Yeah, I really think it's Puka here. Deontay Johnson, that Steelers offense hasn't been moving the ball well through the air. The offense seems dysfunctional. Give me Puka Nacua all day and twice on Sunday. PPR league, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, or Terry McLaurin. Which way we going with this, guys?
Christian Kirk.
Yes, agreed. Kirk.
See, I'm going Terry McLaurin here. I just like Terry McLaurin's spot a little bit better. I think he's been a little bit more consistent than Christian Kirk. It seems like it's Kirk or Ridley week in and week out. And I think Terry McLaurin on tap for a big week this week. Washington against a Miami defense that is better on paper than it is in real life. I don't think that Washington will have a problem moving the ball and putting up yardage and potentially touchdowns. I think they're going to lose that game, but I think they're going to be throwing the ball more than the Jags will on Monday night against Cincinnati. All right. Joining us is one of the DGen docs, Derek Bennett. Derek, how we doing this week?
Awesome. Glad to be with you guys.
Good. Derek, so just talk to us. What are some of the injuries that you're watching here? Who are some of the guys, actives, inactives, as we head into the 1 o'clock window that you're paying close attention to from an injury standpoint? Guys who are active, who maybe, you're worried about their ability to fully participate.
Sure. So in this 1 o'clock window, let me just make sure. Yeah. Really the first thing that comes to mind is, and then last time I was on the show with you guys, Achane was just coming back from his MCL injury, got banged up pretty early on in that game a couple weeks ago, kind of took a back seat, just to be really cautious with him, as explosive as he is. But he should be back full strength today. So I think he, as long as, the Commandos keep it a game, he should get plenty of work, even if they start putting some points up. He still may get quite a bit of carries, but he should be good. Olave, with his concussion, I don't think we've heard anything definitive, but he's expected to play today. Let me think here.
I think he's active.
I think it literally just came out he's good.
Just a couple minutes. Okay.
Yeah, we heard the rumors last night. Trust me, I've been watching Chris Olave intently, because in the league where I'm battling for a bye week, I have Stephon Diggs and the Ravens receivers all on bye, so I am decimated by buys. I needed Chris Olave to be active this week.
Tough spot there. Let me think here. Who else we want to talk about?
Keenan Allen's got a thigh injury.
Who's that?
Keenan Allen.
That one wasn't on my radar. But I think he's been. I guess that he wasn't necessarily on my radar. So,
Trey McBride.
I think McBride, if we can get away from starting him, I think he would probably be a pass for me, just because of who he's going up against in the Steelers defense. I don't think it's a great matchup for him. But I don't know. Again, he wasn't necessarily one on the top of my list to really look into.
All right. We got a good one here. Calvin Ridley or DeAndre Swift, half-point PPR. Who we going with this week, gentlemen? Andrew, let's start with you. Where are we going?
Oh, I'll take Calvin.
Calvin.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to start a running back against that 49ers defense. That's what they're famous for. That's what they do. Give me Calvin Ridley here. Jason Laporta. I think we did this exact question, but let's hit it real quick. Terry McLaurin, Jaden Reed, or AJ Dillon PPR. I think we were all in agreement. Terry McLaurin was the guy this week, just because Jaden Reed, little banged up, not sure if he's going to be a full go, and AJ Dillon has just been a massive fantasy disappointment since he came into the league, and we were promised he was going to be the second coming of Derrick Henry, and he is not.
Yeah, with that Jaden Reed play, I would not be as worried about him. But again, it kind of going up against the Chiefs defense. I don't think they've really let up too many big play receivers all year. So I don't think from an injury standpoint, he's really to be worried about, but more the matchup.
Derek,
Injury.
I want to ask you really quick about Baker and his ankle. You think he's fine? Just really going to be really sore? I mean, that's a big downgrade from Mike Evans if he don't play. So, or if he's not playing well, I should say.
Right. Yeah. No, I expect him to play. Baker's notorious for playing through injuries, but you're exactly right. If he's not 100%, if he's not able to move around in the pocket, it's definitely limiting for sure. So he's kind of one to kind of put on the radar necessarily, but I expect him to play.
Okay.
All right. Full point PPR, Chris Godwin's, George Pickens, or Deontay Johnson?
Deontay. Easy for me there.
Deontay.
From a volume standpoint, Deontay.
I don't trust Deontay Johnson and never will. I know I'm in the minority here, but I like Chris Godwin a little bit more. I like his talent. I like his upside. And I like the guy throwing him the ball more in Tampa more than I trust him in Pittsburgh.
The only thing with that is Godwin's dealing with a neck injury. I'm a little bit more concerned with him just because he had a neck injury earlier on in the year. So will he get full snaps? I don't know.
Godwin hasn't been a wide receiver 2 in the last 4 weeks. Wide receiver 74, 37, 34, 56.
I know this is a very impractical thing, but it's just I can't trust, and I don't trust Deontay Johnson because Deontay Johnson the past 3 weeks has posted yardage totals of 17, 16, and 15.
And he should have had a touchdown last week. Should have. So that would have helped.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Barely.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Josh Allen got horse collared and got called for intentional grounding. So let's just remember 100%. The refs don't care.
Nope. Yep. Hashtag store merch. Refs are terrorists.
Yeah, refs are terrorists.
Right.
Noah Brown or Greg Dortch today. Who we going with, boys?
Oh my God. Noah Brown, right? Greg Dortch.
No,
yeah,
Brown.
Not even a question.
Yeah.
Patriots, 3 active quarterbacks today, including Malik Cunningham, and I think Will Greer's the 3rd active quarterback.
No, Greer's on the practice squad still, so it's Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, and Malik Cunningham. Maybe they do 1 quarterback per quarter, and the best one gets the 4th.
There we go.
They should just have one play where they have them each one on the field at the same time and see if that works for them. Then they can just pick and choose, what they want to do.
Some A11 scrimmage kick offense.
Yeah, might as well, just there.
All right. This is a good question here, Derek. Cooper Kupp, nagging ankle injury, banged it up first drive last week. How are you feeling about that? Are you concerned about it?
I'm not super concerned with Kupp. I think he's the guy in out there in LA. So if he's in your or if he's on your roster, I'm starting him.
There we go. All right. And one more we want to hit on. Travis Etienne. How are you feeling about Travis Etienne going into Monday night? We've had some questions about that.
Yeah, so Etienne, they're expecting him to play. He's come out and said that he's playing. Who I can't remember. Who do the Jags play? The Bengals, right?
They play the Bengals on Monday.
Yeah. So the only concern with that is if the Jags do what they probably should do and start putting up points against the Bengals, does he get as many second half carries? If it starts to become a blowout of a game with the Bengals offense being as disrupted as it is, I don't know if he'll get as many touches, as many looks as he normally would, but I expect him to play.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's going into Monday night, and you feel a lot better about it if you snag Dearness Johnson off the waiver wire in the waiver wire run. But if you're sitting there with no other options, Derek, suppose you're sitting there, you're choosing between waiting for news about Travis Etienne, or you can start Isaiah Pacheco tonight. What are you going to do? Are you going to wait on Etienne, or are you going to start Pacheco?
I'm probably going to go with Pacheco, just knowing that McKinnon's also out for the Chiefs. I think that's probably just a better matchup.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, this is the portion of the show where We
Oh,
got
yeah,
someone
teammate.
coming from New Zealand. Oh, we're definitely putting
Yeah.
him
There
in.
you
DeAndre Hopkins, Tank Dell, or Nico Collins. Which way we going with
Ooh.
this one?
Oh,
Tank.
flip a coin with Tank Dell and Nico Collins. I like both of them almost the exact same. It's not Hopkins for me. Flip a coin there and just pray to God that the coin gods are on your side. I guess.
Yeah.
Tank Dell probably has the higher ceiling, right? But I like both of them like almost the exact same.
Yeah, with Tank Dell scoring in the last, I think, 4 weeks, right? I'm exactly with you guys. Kind of flip a coin with those two, but I would probably go with Tank Dell.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Anybody got any personal lineup questions that they got burning and need to ask?
I'll let everyone else go. I got a Survivor question for y'all then, just a regular football talk.
I'm good.
I don't think I have much this week.
All right, this is going to sound crazy. Do I bench Drake London for Jonathan Mingo?
No.
Oh, man. That's probably closer than we all think it is, but no, I still take London.
I'm just the Jets in
Yeah.
bad weather.
Yeah.
This is where my life is, right? This is the must-win week. I got to win, and and I can't take because I got Ridley and Olave currently slotted at receiver, so this is a flex. I could start Tajay Spears or Dearness Johnson, but I don't really want to do that either.
I'll use my personal question for Bean Productions here. Royce Freeman or Dearness Johnson? I'm going with Royce.
I'm going Dearness.
Yeah, I'd say I might wait on Dearness. Actually,
I'm probably going Dearness too.
I'm also very biased because given the option, I will always draft Dearness Johnson, and I own a shocking amount. I have a shocking amount of Dearness Johnson stock on my dynasty rosters. So one more good injury question for Derek. What's going on with Jamal Williams? Are we going to see anything from this season? Are we worried about it, or just in general? What are you guys' thoughts, Jamal Williams?
Yeah, I guess from an injury standpoint, I don't know why he's not necessarily getting more looks. I think it's more just the way that things are going down in New Orleans. I from an injury standpoint, I don't know.
I'll say this: the Lions' offense last year was way better than the Saints' offenses this year, so the opportunities are way down. And then there's a plethora of guys that they throw the ball at the red zone because Derek Carr likes to do that, even though he throws an interception all the time. Taysom Hill is in there. It's like Jamal Williams. What do you have? Like 35 rushing attempts at the goal line last year and converted 20 of them, and he has like 10 this year.
Yeah. So. Just a usage offense. One last one from the SGPN Discord. Pick 3, Adam Thielen, George Pickens, Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin, Cooper Kupp, Noah Brown.
Thielen, Olave, McLaurin.
I'm probably going Thielen, Olave, Kupp.
Damn. Yeah, I guess
there's been a lot of damn answers this week.
Yeah, I don't love. Man, you know what? Just because I'm not a Thielen guy, I'll take Olave, McLaurin, and Kupp.
Give me Thielen, Olave, McLaurin. I'm with Dave on that one. I just think Thielen has been so consistent getting the ball. Really like it. Olave and McLaurin, obviously lock it in. If I'm taking Thielen out, I'm going Noah Brown before I go Cooper Kupp. All right, last one, I promise. Nathan H. asking about Hunter Henry. How we feeling about that, gentleman? Underdog has his higher lower set at 26.5 receiving yards.
I think that says it all.
I think that says it all right there. I don't think I'm very in on Hunter Henry. He had a nice, fun burst at the start of the year, and since then has just fallen off.
He could be an interesting, if you want to make a bet on an anytime touchdown, I might do that as opposed to playing him in my fantasy lineup if I can.
Yeah, I mean, he's a classic tight end touchdown dart throw right now, and that feels like it. So, all All right, gentlemen, it's everybody's favorite time of the week where we give our underdog picks. We came close last week, but Dave had to hype up Jake Browning, who hasn't done anything ever in his life.
In Dave's defense, he didn't pick. That wasn't his pick on the Jake Browning thing. That was Sebastian.
I thought it was. It was Sebastian. That's right. Yeah, we got rid of Sebastian. Sebastian's in timeout. That's why we have Derek this week. All right, Dave, what's your underdog pick this week? Your underdog lock.
All right, Andrew, just close your ears. I'm gonna go Sam Howell higher, 3.5 sacks.
Oh, man.
Oh, you could also go Sam Howell higher 3 rushes. You guys choose. Higher than 3 rushes is pretty good as well.
I like higher than 3 rushes personally. I don't want to
take it. Yeah, do that one.
All right, Andrew, what you thinking here?
Ooh, let's go. How do you guys feel, Najee or Jalen Warren for a touchdown? What do you guys like better? I like both of them. I kind of like Najee a little more only because I think he gets more goal line work if they're down there. But how do you guys feel about those?
I would lean more Najee, just exactly what you just said. He gets more of the touches around the goal line.
But we can get a spicy play with Jalen Warren plus higher rushing or receiving. I could see them both. I could see them both scoring, but I always love a good spicy multiplier.
Yeah, I mean, I like both of them. I guess if we're only going to take one, I'd probably take Najee, but I like both.
We could play them both. I'm down to play them both.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, what we going here?
Let's
get us some yardage plays. We're touchdown heavy here again.
Yeah, I was thinking Rachaad White over 68.5.
Rachaad White higher than 68.5.
Can you get rush and 95 rush and receiving?
I like that. I like that a lot more than I like just straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm okay with both. Yeah, I like the rushing as well.
I would always rather give myself
I just know Carolina's rush defense is awful. They are pulling back a few guys or getting back a few guys this week from IR, but
yeah, I'm okay with that. I would just say just the straight up receiving, but yeah, I like both. Being able to do both because if he breaks the screen for a long one, it'll count for both. You know, same with the rush. If he breaks a long run, it'll count for both.
Yeah.
All right. So we're sitting.
What do we? Yeah, God, and all I look at a lot of times is touchdowns. I would say I like Zach Moss touchdown, Kyron Williams touchdowns.
They don't have a touchdown for Moss. They have rushing attempts, fantasy points, rushing yards. His rushing and receiving is at 100.5.
They have it at the top there. Rushing and receiving touchdown at the top.
Oh, I don't have it.
Oh, well, Adam does. He's
living that Carolina life.
Zach Moss some love.
I don't really want to play another touchdown.
Okay.
That's just a personal. After we got burned that 1 week playing,
I'm betting 100% on touchdowns right now.
I like his receiving. I like his receiving higher.
What about higher 14.3 fantasy points?
Yeah.
Do we think he gets there with 1 touchdown? Is my question. Everyone still good with that? If he only gets 1 touchdown, you think he still gets there?
Yes, because I think
half point PPR scoring.
Because I think he's going to get yardage and he's going to be involved.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. All right. So we've got Sam Howell higher than 3 rushing attempts. Jalen Warren higher than 1 touchdown on the day. Najee Harris higher than 1 touchdown on the day. Rachaad White higher than 95.5 rushing and receiving yards. Zach Moss higher than 14.35 fantasy points. There we go. This has been the SGPN Fantasy Lounge. Dave is telling us he's all in on Taysom Hill today. Love him. That'll do it. Make sure you jump over to the Sports Gambling Podcast feed. Join Sean and Kramer as they break down all the day's action. And as always, let it ride.